Hi ladies and gents, trust you're well and enjoying a great start to the week. In this Facebook Live, we're going to talk about the importance of burning desire. So, huge day yesterday. Conor McGregor, about 36 hours ago, made his comeback to MMA. And the significance of what happened yesterday morning, 5 a.m. yesterday morning, the significance of what happened there is sizable. Lots of different reasons. Most poignant, and specifically to myself, is I've said in passing to a few close friends and family over the last few weeks. In fact, I played with this over the last few months, and actually in the last couple of weeks said to a couple of very close friends and family, if McGregor loses this fight, then I'm going to retire. If McGregor comes back and loses this fight, gets knocked out, doesn't win, then I'm going to step down from entrepreneurship for lots of different reasons. So I said this half in jest, but there was a degree of seriousness to it. And yesterday after the fight, I was reflecting on my sentiments surrounding that. So, burning desire, if you've read Think and Grow Rich, burning desire is this burning desire that you have to achieve something, whether it's going to be running a marathon or breaking a record or starting a business or winning the world championships. Whatever it is you want to achieve, you need to have a burning desire to do it. You need the drive, you need the push, the ambition. If you want to achieve anything significant in life, you need this enthusiasm, inertia, the push to actually achieve it. Because the reality is, you won't work really hard if you're not driven. You won't push yourself you won't push yourself hard unless there's something you really want to achieve. You won't drag yourself out of bed at 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning to go training, to go to work, to pull in all the hours to actually achieve what you want to achieve. Unless you've got a solid drive, solid motivation, and a burning desire to actually want to achieve that. So it's really important that, for fear of coming across cheesy, so I was at Dan Peña's event this weekend. He talks about it. He said, you've got to do something you love. You've got to do something you enjoy. Like, you have to be driven to do these things. You can't fake the fire. Like, burning desire has to be real. You have to be driven to achieve what you want to achieve. And Dan Peña talks about it. We train all of our property entrepreneurs on it. Every year we look at what does success look like for us this year, because half of the battle of being successful. So we've won awards, broken world records, scaled really aggressively. You can only do those things if you really want to do them. Like, it's driven by your appetite and your motivation. So you have to do things that you love. You have to do things you enjoy. You have to drive yourself towards things you want to achieve. And although you can talk yourself into these things, you have to have this burning desire to enable you to do it. If we look at the Conor McGregor example, so we look at Conor McGregor and then look at my experience. The Conor McGregor example is when he was like 17 in Ireland. If you watch his videos online, he was driven. In his head, when he only had 3 fights, he said he wanted to be the first person ever to hold 2 simultaneous world championship belts. And over a period of 7 years, he went and did that. He started getting traction, he started winning fights, he started predicting the rounds, he created his own profile, he created his own personality in the sport, and he grew exponentially from, as he says, from nothing to something to everything. And over a period of 7 years, he went from being nobody at all to being one of the biggest stars in the world, like one of the biggest superstars in the world, let alone in UFC history. Broke the awards, broke the records, won the championships, won the belts. So he had the most ridiculous burning desire. If you watch his documentaries, you watch his videos on YouTube, he visioned where he wanted to go, he believed in it, he obsessed over it, he got up and trained 7 days a week. He didn't think of anything other than fighting. He had nothing. He had no money. He was borrowing money to buy his training gear. He was living with his parents and with Dee Devlin's parents to just pay for the roof over their heads while they were training. He wanted all this stuff. He had all this motivation, and over a period of 7 years, he went from nothing to something to everything. And about 3 years ago, he had everything. So he'd won all the awards. He'd won the belts. And then what happened was he had this great success, he had this drive, but then he started to get a bit sloppy, and he lost his first fight. So he lost one of his fights. He stepped up and fought Floyd Mayweather, lost that fight. He then came back to MMA about 18 months ago and fought Khabib. And Khabib did a bit of a ground and pound, got him on the ground, forced him into a submission. He had a fight with Nate Diaz, but he came back from that. But what happened was he'd started to lose. What we're seeing now is, like, reflecting back on that, is that motivation and that drive when he fought Khabib, he'd started to lose. So he didn't train as much as he should have done. He wasn't as regimented with his sleep. And the outcome was that he actually lost a fight. He then, fame, celebrity started to get in the way of his success, of his personal life. And he had some issues with the law. He got into some fights. He had some fallouts. He was doing things that were just really out of character and, like, not consistent with the guy that everybody had followed and respected and admired for winning his belts. And then over a period of months, his reputation started to slip. We didn't know whether he was going to come back. He'd been announced to come back for this fight yesterday. He fought yesterday morning in UK time. And he came back to fight. And there was a lot of controversy over, would he actually be able to compete? Because when you've got $100 million in the bank, so he got reportedly paid $100 million, or he had about $100 million from the Mayweather fight. Obviously, he got taxes and all that, but essentially he's loaded. He's got loads of money. He's won the belts. He's got the fame. He's got the fortune. Is it possible, when you've got that level of success, to actually go out and win the fights, to be that grafter, to put the hours in, to do the training, to work as hard? Like, if you don't have that burning desire, which you had when you had nothing, is it possible to actually replicate that and then go on and fight? And this is the experience I've had. Last year we celebrated 10 years in business. And after 10 years in business, I'd done the start-up phase, the scale-up phase, worked with friends and family, gone from the band of brothers culture to, like, the dream team culture, the small start-up into the semi-corporate, the local business into the national business. And over the last 10 years, I've worked every hour that God sent. I've grafted so hard, I've had short-term memory loss, my hair's fallen out, I've been stressed, I've put the house up to the bank, I've rolled up all of the money that we've made year on year on year. I've won all the entrepreneur awards, Young Entrepreneur of the Year, Entrepreneur of the Year, the highly commended Institute of Directors, Young Director of the Year. Had all of that success, and then after 10 years, genuinely felt like I don't have that buzz that I used to have. I don't have that burning desire. Like, 10 years is a long time, and when you've hit it that hard for 10 years and achieved a lot of things you want to set out to achieve, whether it's awards, growth, experience, recognition, money, when you've achieved those things and that burning desire starts to die down, is it actually possible to replicate? And over the last 6 months, I've really been thinking about this, and it's really important for any of you that want to achieve something sizable. Like, you have to fundamentally have this burning desire, and Conor McGregor had that to achieve what he has achieved up until the last couple of years. I had that experience over the last decade, scaling our companies, winning the awards, getting them to where they want to be. And you need that to be the highest performer, because when you get to a point where you're trying to replicate that level of success, but you don't have a burning desire, this is where you start to question things. This is where Conor McGregor started to lose control of his personal life, lost a fight, wasn't on his A game. You look at loads of people who quit at the top. Mike Tyson, he ended the back end of his career, he was getting knocked out. Muhammad Ali had fights towards the end of his career when he got knocked out. Like, everybody wants to finish their career at the top. But the reality is we don't. We come back for more, we get sloppy, we lose, then we want to come back at it. And maybe you're not young enough, you're not hungry enough, you haven't got the energy enough. There's knowing when to step in and knowing when to step out. And most people don't know how to do that. Saturday's fight was a game changer for that, because I've done 10 years. I took December off this year to think about, do I want to do another decade working? I've tried slowing things down, started reading in the weekends and evenings, not working at weekends, trying to pull my hours down to like a normal working day, and really trying to experience like the other side of life to see if I do actually want to be a high performing entrepreneur anymore. Everything that I've tested, I'm getting restless, I've been getting bored. Like, I've got this growth mindset that I want to put into practice, but I didn't know up until yesterday whether I've got what it takes to take it to the next level for another 5-10 years. Like, if I want to keep achieving at the level that we have done for the last 10 years, have I got that burning desire to do it again? And what I said to a couple of friends was, if Conor McGregor loses his fight on Saturday, then I'm going to seriously think about stepping down and retiring, because if he can't make a comeback and win, it's just another signal that you need that burning desire. You know, quit when you're ahead, finish at the top of the game, where most people don't. They end up finishing their career sort of starting to slip down. Simon's saying go to see Tony Robbins. Simon, I'm booked into Date with Destiny in December, so good feedback there. So for me, it was like, is Conor going to win? If he wins, happy days, we're back in the game, it's time to reset the bar, go a million miles an hour. Or is it actually, you know, Conor's going to lose, it's time to slow down, time to step out and just enjoy the fact that I've had a decade of consistent, you know, awards, progression and success. Last few weeks I've been back in the business, getting the ball rolling, doing deals, really enjoying it. Last week really upped the ante, so as all of our property entrepreneurs will know, we started doing our winter time tracking this quarter, and like really starting to see my productivity increase, get back on my A game, loving being busy. Went to see Dan Pena speak on Saturday. I had a couple of sessions last week with a couple of my mentors, some good conversations there, resetting the bar as to where we're going to operate in the year ahead. Had a day with Dan Pena talking about moving into the tens and hundreds of millions of like the size of companies that we start buying and running. And then Conor McGregor got up at 3 a.m, headed down to watch it in town. And in 40 seconds, against all the controversy, all the doubt, all the questions, has he got what it takes anymore? Is he going to win? And you could tell the pressure on his side. Like, you watch the press conferences, his change in attitude. He's like completely remodeled himself, completely re-gearing himself to get ready to go again. And it is required. If you look at to the run up to this fight and the run up to the last like 3 or 4 months, his fake confidence in press conferences, his videos where he's pulling out all the old McGregor one-liners, but you can see, like, if you look into his eyes, you can see that he's saying the things he was saying, the things he thought he needed to say, like, you know, I'll pick them off one at a time, all the things the genuine burning desire Conor McGregor used to say. He's saying them because he thinks he needs to say it. But you can watch the press releases, watch the conferences, watch the video footage of him talking. You can tell he's lost that. This time round, the press conference was completely different. He's remodeled himself. His attitude at the weigh-ins, the ceremonial weigh-ins, heading into the ring was very, very different. And he got into the ring well practiced, well graphed, well geared. He'd studied this guy, studied Donald Cerrone, studied his fight plan, studied his movements, and not only did he win, so he went in and he won the game, he's back in the game, he's firing on all cylinders. He did it at 170, so he's fighting at 170, where previously he's been dropping down to 155. He fought it out at 170, the game was over, the fight was over in 40 seconds, and not only that, you watch the fight, he beat Cerrone, he beat Cowboy at his own fight. He did like four elbows to the face. He went up. He got into the sort of off the mat fights. He got a leg. The biggest risk to Conor McGregor was going to be, is Donald Cerrone going to get a leg to his head and knock him out of his signature move, which has won him the accolade of the most wins in UFC history. Conor went in on his top game, pulled all of the favourite moves out, and actually finished Cowboy with one of his own moves and within 40 seconds. Nobody can question Conor McGregor for that. He's back. He's on his A game. He's training. He's ready to go again. And it was a very powerful experience watching that fight yesterday. I love Conor McGregor. I followed him through his whole career. I think he's amazing. I think he's the definition of high performance. I think he walks the talk. He sets the bar high. He's disciplined. He's a machine. I think he's very, very impressive. And the fact that he walked out of there not only winning and showing that he's making a comeback, he's back on his AAA game, and he did it in 40 seconds and strategically beat Cerrone with all of his own, beat Cowboy Donald Cerrone with all of his own moves. So the conclusion for me there is, like, I'm ready to go again. I'm ready to set the bar. I'm ready to up the ante. And I already know the key elements of our businesses that are going to get that level of attention. Like, I've reset my bar. I know what my new definition of success is. I know where my burning desire is coming from. And every single one of you, like those of you that are on Property Entrepreneur, know that we do this every year. Those of you that aren't, every year you want to look at what your definition of success is. What's your short, medium, long-term plan? Like what's going to get you out of bed in the morning? Set that bar high, lift it a little bit higher. It's got to be in reach, but it's got to be a push. Like really set yourself up for success in this capacity. And yeah, Conor McGregor winning that fight yesterday in the style, winning the fight period, and then winning in the style that he did was an absolute game changer for me. Like I'm ready, I'm amped. I was up at the crack of dawn this morning, like back on my AAA game. Like literally can't wait. So, ladies and gents, heading into the weeks, months, and the year ahead, make sure you've got that burning desire. Like you need to enjoy what you're doing. You need to find something that actually gets you out of bed. It excites you. It challenges you. It pushes you. Life's all about experiences, challenges, and adventure. Find out what that means for you in the year ahead. Like what's going to get you out of bed to achieve that this year, and go and do a Conor McGregor. Like he's back, and I'm excited to watch him. I'm excited to play it out myself. And now I've got the clarity and the confidence, having explored if it's right for me. Like I know I'm going again, and I'm pleased, glad, and relieved that Conor McGregor won yesterday, and I'm chuffed to see how the rest of his season plays out. So, a few questions. Blimey, quite a few people on the call. Good to see everyone. Yeah, Simon, going to see Tony Robbins. Right, so Farai is saying, would you say it's best to replicate that level of effort success, or is it best to try and surplus that level which got you to achieve those results? Right, a very, very valid question. I was actually thinking about this. So one thing is, so do you raise the bar, or do you let the pendulum swing? So you need to be motivated, and this is either driven by can you actually achieve something? Have you got it in you? Or you've experienced something else and you want to bring it back. So for example, Conor McGregor winning yesterday was more him getting back to his old self, disciplined, studying the fight plan, being strategic, being fast, being confident, being relaxed. He was more so getting himself back to where he used to be. If you look at all of his post-fight press conferences, even the pre-fights, he realised that the reason he got beaten by Khabib was that he'd got sloppy on his training. He wasn't sleeping properly. He went into his camp, like 10 or 12 week camp, half-hearted. What he needed to do in that capacity was get himself back to where he started. So that was training the way that he needs to do. And that's what we've seen there. That's got him back to where he is, to his baseline. His next challenge is he wants to take over 170. He's going to be fighting guys that are a lot bigger than him. So his first thing was to get back to base. And then he needs to reset the bar, and they're the two bits of it. Getting back to base is the pendulum swing. Those of you that were in great shape last summer, October, November, you were in great shape, you clothes fitted well, you were doing the gym, and then in December, you took your eye off the ball, you ate, you started drinking, you put on a bit of fat, your shirt's a bit tight. That's the pendulum swing. Like I went into December quite happy that I was having a month off, I was going to let things relax again, put on about 3.5 kilos, and then it knows that when January comes, I'm motivated again. I'm going to get back down to 61k. I'm motivated again because the pendulum swings. With that, it's just getting back on your A game, and that's definitely what I've done in the last couple of weeks. And then the next step is, once you're on your A game and you're already executing at that level, if you need the burning desire, if you don't have the burning desire but you're operating at the level which you previously succeeded at, like Conor McGregor, take it up to... If you're ready to go again, Conor McGregor's back, he wants to go again. He's going up to 170. I'm back, I want to go again. I'm moving a couple of our businesses into a different level of scale, the other one into a different sector. Like I know where my level of excitement is. Think about, where do you need to reset the bar to get yourself up to there? The other element is it actually time to go again? If you don't have that burning desire and you're already performing where you used to, you can't fake the fire. You just can't fake the fire. You've got to want to go for it. If you want to go for it, then go for it. Like reset the bar, absolutely smash it. If you don't want to go for it, do what I did. Take December off. Go travelling, relax, change your pace, start reading, start speaking to people, have some time to yourself, get off the success train for a little while, get off at a few stops, look out the window, see if it is actually what you want to do. and then you'll know whether to go again. Like, only go again, raise the bar if you've got that burning desire and you're sure it's good to go. A lot of people, they want fame, they want success, they want money, they get that, and then they think they want to try and force it to the next level. You've got to be careful not to do that, because you can't get to that next level without that burning desire. And sometimes, sometimes it's worth getting off the bullet train. Sometimes you want to quit at the top. There's a time to get on the success train. There's a time to get off. You want to get that right, because a lot of people don't. They drag it out for a lot longer than needed. I hope there's some value in there, guys. Best of luck for the week and the month ahead. Think about your burning desire. Like, what's your reason why? What's your definition of success this year? What's actually getting you out of bed? And something tangible you can actually get your hands on. Little sentiment to finish. This is like an advanced property entrepreneur trick. Your life, 7 years, the number 7 and 7 years is a very deep-rooted thing. Whether you look at astrology, religion, history, relationship cycles, 7 years is a very clear element of your life, your personal life, your professional life, your career, your relationships. Have a look where you are. Your life runs in 7-year cycles. Have a look. Are you in the middle of a 7-year cycle? Are you at the beginning of a 7-year cycle? Or are you at the end of a 7-year cycle? This will give you good clarity over where your burning desire is going to come from. My first 7-year cycle was learning it. My 7-year cycle in entrepreneurship, my first 7-year cycle was learning it. So getting my degree, doing my first few startups. My second 7-year cycle was earning it, was making the money, building the business, buying the properties, scaling the asset base, creating the wealth. And my third 7-year cycle, which starts this year, is keeping it. So I've got learning it, earning it, and my next 7-year cycle is keeping it. So my personal burning desire and my personal focus isn't on making more money, scaling more. My next focus for my 7 years of keeping it is all about the financial fortress. Moving money out of developments, out of companies, out of properties, into single lets. Like, my financial fortress is a portfolio of 50 single let properties, each making £200 a month, and that's my get out of jail free card. It's my pension fund. It just sits in the background. It pays my bills. It just sits in the background, and if I ever need it, it's there to pay my bills, pay my overheads. If I ever choose, actually, I've had enough, the financial fortress is there to protect me, to protect my family, and allow me the freedom to carry on doing what I want to do at whatever point I choose to do it. So my next port of call is to move my wealth, my money out of businesses and developments and the sort of hard work assets that require me to be around in some capacity, and moving it out to a single let portfolio, which is with a letting agency, completely passive. I've got properties I've never even seen. It's that relationship with my balance sheet in that capacity, and that's my next burning desire. With that in mind, I better go and do some work. Have a great Monday, ladies and gents, and I look forward to catching you up later in the week. Feel free to comment on here and I will answer your questions. If you've not already, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We release videos like this every week. And if you're not already following me on LinkedIn or Facebook, Daniel Hill on Facebook, and Property Entrepreneur _ on Instagram. Well, ladies and gents, have a good day and week, and I'll catch you later.